And out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in LA. 97% of those people would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in LA for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio, Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bullshit, man. Let's stop doing these interviews, man, about this shit. Cause people ain't getting it. He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop them or whatever. Big started that beef. You understand what I'm saying? Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put him out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can.
Gan Deal witnessed it all firsthand, with every moment etched into his memory. After years of silence, he's finally stepping forward to share his story. Whispers suggest that his account might hold the key to unraveling a decades-old mystery. Get ready, because these revelations could shatter everything you thought you knew about Diddy and Biggie. Before diving into the explosive revelations Gan Deal is about to unveil, let's take a step back to where it all began. Bad Boy Records. In the early 90s. This
man, in a situation, by sending him to Cali to work on your album, when you know, not his Nimitz, but your Nimitz was just murdered by niggas that you was running with. Why would you do that? Oh, they just wanted to do business. Business my ass, man. No homo. Because you know how some of these niggas out here be thinking, right? They hear that. Keep it real, man. Why is he out there working on Puff album when you got the Hit Factory? You got Daddy's house. You got the place where Tupac was shot at, Quad Studio. There's plenty of places Big could have been. Why the West Coast? Come on, man. And then you got a half retarded ass nigga like Lil C. Big love Cali. Big wanted his publishing. Big wanted his marketing. He knew he couldn't go nowhere and be who he needed to be without it. So if Puff would have told that nigga to go to hell with gasoline draws on, that nigga would have went to hell. All money ain't good money, brother. That's my take on it, man. I don't know if you like it or not.
This label was the epicenter of hip-hop, the ultimate destination for every aspiring artist. At the helm was Diddy, a relentless hustler with a vision to create something legendary, and he delivered. Bad Boy Records wasn't just a label. It became a cultural juggernaut. With Diddy's golden touch, everything he touched turned to gold, laying the foundation for a legacy that continues to echo through the music industry today. Let's be real, Bad Boy Records wouldn't have reached legendary status without the incomparable Biggie Smalls. The man was a lyrical mastermind, plain and simple. When Ready to Die dropped in '94, it was like time stood still as the world absorbed his genius, his
party.
It was 23 of us.
23 people go to the vibe party. And then at one point, the fire department starts to shut it down.
Now it's only 12 of us. Because them motherfuckers that left, they must have felt something. You know, what's his name? Chuck Bone. That was Puff friend. Yeah, he that was with us, Chuck Bone. They must have felt something and they left and went to Steve Stout's house in the hills. Because Steve Stout was giving a party that day too.
Okay, so half the entourage leaves. Half is still there. You go and grab all the SUVs and have them pull out in front, so when Big and Puff and all them come out, they can just jump in their cars.
And we can leave.
Okay. So tell me about the scene outside as you're waiting for everyone to get in their cars and start to take off.
So first we lined up parallel to the door in which they have to come out, right? You follow me?
Yep.
All right, we lined up parallel to where the doors they have to come out. So if they come out right here, the car's right there. They're right there. So then Big is taking his time because you know his fibular bones and his thighs are broken or whatever like that. You know, they fractured or whatever. So it's taking them a long time to come out. So they get out, Big gets in the car, everybody get loaded up. I said, come on, let's go. We ready to go. Puff is running back and forth like, yo, he'll see a girl, he'll go grab a girl. He said, yo, Gene, remember her, she coming to the party tomorrow. I'm like, remember her? What the fuck is you talking about, bro? I've never seen him act like this.
Flow, his storytelling, and his swagger. It was unmatched. And when Diddy and Biggie teamed up, they were unstoppable, like two sides of the same coin. Diddy had the vision to refine Biggie's raw talent and showcase it to the world in a way that resonated with everyone. Biggie wasn't just an artist. He was the lifeblood of Bad Boy Records, the soul that made the label truly iconic. He doesn't act like that because even in New York City, once Puff gets in the car, he'll leave his mom behind. We're gone. We're out. So Puff is looking around, and if you see the cameras, you'll see him running back and forth looking at everything. So I said, "Big man, what are we standing around here for?" He said, "That's your man, that's your man." I said, "Yeah, all right." Then I said, "Puff, what's going on?" He said, "Yo, Paul them ain't got their car yet." I said, "This guy's a cop out here and they can't get his car out the garage. I got all these cars, what are you talking about? I don't understand." Now we pull out the driveway. This is the driveway we pull onto, but I don't know the street. Is it WW or Fairfax? Which street is it right there on the side of that? I'm not sure. We turn onto whatever street it is when we come out the driveway. We park up in the driveway. So it's Puff's car and Big's car, and I still think we're waiting for Paul's car. Now people are starting to come by. I've seen a lot of videos, and in those videos it seems like there were a lot of people around when Big got shot and everything. But that's not what happened. On the other side of the V, the streets couldn't get enough of Diddy and Biggie. The duo was hailed as unstoppable, destined to rule the rap game indefinitely. For a while, it seemed like nothing could prove otherwise. Bad Boy Records was a...
Because even in New York City, once Puff get in the car, he'll leave his mama. We gone, we out. So Puff is like looking, and if you see the cameras, you see him running back and forth, looking and everything like that. So I said, "Big man, what we standing around here for?" He said, "That's your man. That's your man." And I said, "Yeah, all right." So then I said, "Puff, what's going on?" He said, "Yo, Paul and them ain't got their car yet." I said, "This guy's a cop out here and they can't get his car out the garage thing. I got all these cars. I got these cars out of. What are you talking about?" You understand? So now we pull out the driveway. When we pull out onto the driveway, now this is the driveway. We pull onto the driveway, and I don't know the street. Is it Wishaw or Fairfax? Which street is right there on the side of that? Is it
Not sure.
Wishaw or Fairfax? Well, whatever street is right there, when you come out the driveway, you got to make a right turn. So we parked up in the driveway. So it's Puff, it's Big's car. And I still think we're waiting for Paul and them car. So now they get, people are coming by. Now, y'all seen a lot of videos, and in those videos, it seemed like it was a lot of people right there, you know, when Big got shot and everything like that. That's on the other
Blazing
side
force,
of the
churning out hit after hit with that signature bad boy sound, dominating the airwaves. Biggie was delivering jaw-dropping bars, leaving listeners in awe, while Diddy brought the flair with unforgettable music videos and hooks that stayed with you for days. Together, they were the epitome of hip-hop perfection, a powerhouse duo that felt untouchable. They weren't just creating music, they were living the dream, making bold moves, and setting trends that defined the culture. It was their world, and everyone else was just along for the ride. Here's the thing about success. It's a double-edged sword. The fame, money, and power can elevate you, but they can also change you, often in ways you don't expect. The higher you rise, the more people want to bring you down. Bad Boy Records was sitting right at the pinnacle of the game. On the surface, everything looked perfect. Diddy and Biggie were the ultimate duo, hyping each other up like brothers, inseparable, or so it seemed. But appearances can be deceiving. Behind the scenes, things weren't always as seamless as they appeared. And when you're at the top, even the smallest cracks have a way of growing into something much bigger.
street, it was nobody over there. You understand? So this guy in this blue and white shirt comes walking down. So he walks down and he just goes through the garage, you know what I'm saying, while the cars is lined up. I have my gun under my shirt. You know, with my hand, you know, sideways to the trigger like this. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't put it on the trigger or nothing like this. I got my gun on something like that. So the guy walks through and now I see Paul. I say, yo, Paul, what's up? He said, yeah, and the guy just kept on walking. I said, Paul, you see the guy in the blue and white shirt? He said, yeah, I saw him. He said, yo, he puff all right? I said, yo, puff straight. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your eye on him. So the guy walked away. You know what I'm saying? So then next thing you know, less than 5 minutes from that, hear this guy come down. He dressed in a blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie. You understand? He comes and he just, it's a pillow right here. Puff is in the driveway. If you walking down the street, you can't see me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm standing right by the pillow, right? So you can't see me. So when he got to the...
Behind the platinum plaques and million-dollar smiles, another story was quietly brewing, a story that raises questions about whether trust can truly exist in the music industry. Diddy and Biggie seemed like the ultimate dynamic duo, but behind the scenes, whispers told a different tale. Whispers of tension, jealousy, and a reality far removed from their polished public image. Enter Jean Deal. He wasn't just a spectator. He was in the thick of it, witnessing the meteoric rise of the bad boy empire. But he also saw the cracks forming, the kind of fractures that, if left unchecked, could bring even the mightiest empire to its knees. Sure, Bad Boy Records soared to the top, like cream rising to the surface. But trust me, there's far more to this story than what we've been shown. John is about to lift the veil.
Closer to the curve than he was in the middle of the sidewalk. He's walking close to the curve, close to the cars. I see him, and Puff is about I would say 10 to 15 yards from him, right? And I'm about 5 yards from him. So the guy, when I come from over the pillow, he stops immediately. And he just looked at me and I looked at him. He didn't say nothing. So I lowered my arm and he could see my gun. He looked me in my eye and turns right back and walks down the street. So when he got far enough from down the street, maybe 4 or 5 car lengths and everything like that, I said, yo, y'all ready? He said, yeah, we ready. So we pulls out the driveway and now we lined up side the street. There's cars parked there from the opening of the museum all the way down to the corner. So we park right there, coming out the garage, and I see Paul and them. Big's man is across the street. He has a white Land Cruiser. He's from Philly. I think Charlie Baltimore may have been in the car with them. I'm not for sure. So when we pull out the driveway, Paul comes up to me. I say, yo, Paul, you good? You good? Y'all ready to go? You ready to go? I say, all right, because Puff had already made the decision
Veil on it all.
that we're going to Steve Stout's
You might be
house
thinking,
now.
weren't Diddy and Biggie inseparable like two peas in a pod? That's exactly the narrative they wanted everyone to believe.
It is what it is.
But behind the Bentleys and the bling was a storm quietly gathering strength.
And if Diddy is that vicious,
whirlwind of drama, tension, and secrets far messier than anyone could have imagined.
He took a girl
Kenny
back
said,
there
"You
and
ready?"
did something to her.
I replied,
Then
"Yeah,
that's really,
I'm ready."
That's crazy.
Then I told him,
But I've heard him say
"Kenny,
some crazy things.
run the
like
next 3 lights."
He said that he sat down
Kenny
there
asked,
and
"For what?"
he
I
gave
said, "Just run
8
the next
different people
3
mouth to
lights."
mouth.
He hesitated, but I told him,
And that's
"Kenny, or I'm going to drive."
That's a lie.
He finally took off.
That's
We got
a
past
lie,
the light
brother.
because it was a flashing red.
From
And as
Chaz, I had called Chaz and I let Chaz know. I said, yo, Chaz, we about to go to Steve Stout's now. I said, no, I'm coming down there where y'all don't go to Steve Stout's house. Y'all don't go to Steve Stout's house. And he didn't say anything on the phone. You know, he said, I'm on my way down there. You know what I'm saying? So he had left Steve Stout's in them house. So we parked on the side of the Peterson Museum. So when I said to Paul, Paul said we was ready to go. I say, all right, follow us. I tried to ride on the side of the car. Puff said, yo, Gene, what you doing? I said, I'm riding on the side of the car. I'm gonna have my gun out. I'm on the side of the car. At the time, I'm 265. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the street 30, you know what I mean? So I was a little slimmer back then. So he says to me, Gene, if you don't get in this car, you ain't gonna never work for Bad Boy ever again. I said, man, how the fuck you gonna try to tell me how to do my job? He said, Gene, we don't need that look. We don't need that look. Get in the car. As I go to get in the car, this motherfucker reached down and let his seat all the way back. So now I gotta put my legs sideways. I'm like, yo, what the f?
Across the street, Tone, who was behind me, yelled, "Yo, somebody in the car is pointing a gun at Big." I went to open the door, but before I could, we heard the sound of gunshots. Pow, pow, pow. It was 5 or 6 shots. Kenny slammed on the gas, speeding forward. I yelled, "Kenny, what the hell are you doing?" He replied, "They're shooting at Big." I said, "We don't know who they're shooting at." He then drove up the block, stopped, made a quick U-turn, and came back.
Say, you ready? He said, you ready? I said, Kenny, run the next 3 lights. Run the next 3 lights, Kenny. Kenny said, for what? I said, motherfucker, run the next 3 lights, Kenny, or I'm gonna drive. Run the next 3 lights. Kenny just took off. When he took off, we got past the light because it was a flashing red light. We got past the light and we got across the street. Tone, who was behind me, said, yo, somebody in the car pointing a gun at Big and them. I goes to open the door. Fucking, next thing you know, you hear it say, pow! Pap, 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 pap. Yeah. 5 or 6 cars were like, pap, 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 pap. Right? Fucking Kenny guns the car going forward. I said, Kenny, what the fuck is you doing? He said they shooting at Big. He said, we don't know who they shooting at. He then goes up the block, stops, and do this 3-point something like that U-turn, comes back, and as we